The Betrayal and Mercy of King Idris. Act 1. The king loved by all. In the prosperous kingdom of Nuran, King Idris was known for his kindness, wisdom, and fairness. He ruled not with fear, but with love and justice. Unlike other rulers who hid behind the walls of their palaces, personally, his kingdom flourished, the fields were green, trade was booming, and the people lived in peace. Nuran was a paradise under his rule. But peace and prosperity often breed jealousy and ambition. In the shadows, some of his own advisors and nobles whispered amongst themselves. "The king is too soft," one noble scoffed. "He gives too much to the poor," another grumbled. "If we ruled, we would be richer, more powerful," said a greedy merchant. Together these men plotted against the very king who had always protected them. Act 2. The Seeds of Betrayal. The conspirators knew they couldn't defeat the king with force. His loyal royal guards and generals would never betray him. So they turned to lies and deceit. They spread rumors among the people. "The king is secretly stealing from the treasury. He plans to marry a foreign princess and sell our land. He wants to raise taxes and build a golden palace for himself." At first, the people didn't believe these wicked lies, but doubt is like poison, slow and deadly. As the rumors spread, the people of Nuran began to question their beloved king. Why has the king not denied these claims? Maybe he really has changed. Have we been blind all these years? The conspirators, seeing the doubt growing like wildfire, made their final move. One night they gathered a mob of angry citizens and stormed the palace gates. Act 3. The Fall of a King. 07. The palace was surrounded by thousands of people, demanding answers. King Idris stood on the balcony looking down at his people, the same people he had loved and protected. He raised his hands to speak, but the angry crowd shouted him, "Liar! Step down, or we will take the throne by force." King's most trusted generals and guards urged him to fight back. "Your Majesty, just give the order, and we will crush this rebellion." But King Idris was not a man of violence. With deep sorrow in his ear, he removed his crown, handed it to his guards, and spoke, "If my people no longer trust me, then I will not force them to serve me." Without another word, he turned and walked away from the throne. As the gates of the palace closed behind him, the conspirators cheered in victory. They thought they had won, but their victory was short-lived. Act 4. The kingdom falls into darkness. With King Idris gone, the conspirators seized power. But instead of ruling with wisdom, they ruled with greed and cruelty. Taxes were raised. Merchants were forced to pay bribes. The army was used to oppress, not protect. The poor suffered while the rich feasted. The people who had once cheered for change now lived in fear and regret. Months passed. Famine spread. Villages burned. Nuran, once a land of peace, became a land of misery. And then the people finally understood their mistake. "We were fools," they cried. "We drove away a just king and let monsters take his place." There was only one hope left. Act 5. The people beg for forgiveness. A group of elders, soldiers, and farmers set out on a journey to find their king. After weeks of searching, they found him living in a small village, dressed as a simple man, working as a farmer. He had no riches, no throne, only peace. They fell to their knees before him. "Your Majesty, forgive us. We were blinded by lies and turned against you. Without you, our kingdom is lost." Tears streamed down their faces as they begged for mercy. King Idris looked at them. He saw their suffering, their genuine regret. He could have refused, he could have punished them, but he did not. Instead, they spoke gently. A king's duty is not just a rule, but to forgive and guide his people. I will return not for power, but to rebuild what was lost. Act 6. The king's triumphant return. With the people by his side, King Idris marched back to Nouran. This time there was no army, no bloodshed. The people. Through the palace gates, the entire kingdom knelt before him. But King Idris did not seek revenge. He did not punish those who had betrayed him. Instead, he rebuilt the kingdom with wisdom, fairness, and an even greater love for his people. And this time, his people never forgot the lesson of their betrayal. Moral of the story. True strength lies not in vengeance, but in forgiveness. A wise ruler does not seek revenge. He teaches his people to be better.